All right, and we are live. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Just thought I would sit down and do a Q&A and current events for you guys and gals. Hopefully, we get a live one. This is the afternoon. This is the best slot. These tend to actually get pretty good views, so there's no hope about it. It generally will. Let me make a community tab post. So that people know we also got it running there. And let's get this up and rolling. I guess I'm going to briefly address this one topic and then we'll jump into everyone's topics of conversation. People are kind of like every day I keep getting people, hey, Jason, they're coming through even the coffee chats. What do you think about this Dr. Mike Isreatel PhD fiasco? And it's like, guys, why is anybody still bringing this up over and over and over? You know, we have a much bigger fiasco rising out of it between a falling out between Nippert and Solomon. And, you know, why do people even care at a certain point? Like, did anybody really think Mike was anything but a businessman? I mean, come on, did you not watch his stuff? So let's even pretend that people care about PhD. This is why this whole thing is ridiculous still. Okay, people who act like they care about PhDs, they care about evidence, weren't following his crap anyways. Right? He has good biomechanics information, but by and large, the guy's programming, none of it was based on science. It was all writing periodization with no evidence to support any of those ideas, never been studied. Even studies on periodization never showed benefits of the stuff he prescribed. It's there to sell apps. It's there to sell programs. He's always been a businessman. Okay, that's always been what it's about. So there's a certain point where, you know, does it matter anymore? And this whole thing with PhDs in the field by influencers to sell stuff, we've seen plenty of really bad, horrible PhDs used to market stuff. This is not new, particularly on the bodybuilding end, right? How many people's even their PhD work was biased towards stuff to sell products later? We've seen a whole lot of this. In fact, I've been in court over calling this stuff out before by people who didn't like me calling it out. You know, this is the nature of this industry. Okay, this is the nature of this industry. And at the end of the day, unfortunately, the nature of fitness and bodybuilding, you're never really going to have a great deal of science to back a lot of that. We have great overall nutritional science as far as health benefits and stuff go, but in terms of really caring about deep competitive bodybuilding, come on. The same thing with a lot of this periodization. Yeah, you can draw a few studies here and there that are absolutely useful, and we should follow those trends. But by and large, look how many of the PhDs are horribly done. I mean, let's be fair. Plenty of the guys who have PhDs in this field or advanced degrees have been called out for this stuff. I mean, the advanced degrees don't mean anything for coaching anyways, right? How many guys out there have you met with a CSCS who can't coach their way out of a wet paper bag? A CSCS requires a master's degree in some sort of sports science. Okay, it requires a graduate degree to get the CSCS. I'm doing well. Define how you doing, brother man. Hit that like, guys. Let's get these topics popping off. But let's get conversations going. But I know guys out there who are mediocre coaches. They don't have any clients squatting 500 pounds. I know guys with a CSCS who cannot get their guys squatting 500 pounds. And then you got guys like me and other people who don't have one, who we crank them out like a factory. This should tell you something about how much some of this stuff matters for the actual ability to coach and write programs. It's just not relevant. Okay. So generally speaking, PhDs in exercise science are useful for learning how to gather material and do research, but they're not correlated with being, and even advanced degrees in the field are not correlated with good coaching or good programming. There's literally no correlation when you observe people out there. Right? There just isn't. So I don't know why people are jumping to that as a big deal anyways. So he'll have pretty good knowledge, obviously, of biomechanics, biochemistry, things like that. But it's not going to be for good programming. And he markets his stuff as selling programming and periodization. But none of that's evidence-based. And I've said this for many years, and I think one of the smartest guys I know out there, who is quite an education in the field, Alex Viada, he said the same thing. I stole this line from him, by the way. The periodization is voodoo. It is coaching voodoo. It's voodoo that coaches use to distract lifters while they just get you bigger from training. It's as a distraction to make you think that they did something. It's to sidetrack you and keep you distracted while they give you more time to gain muscle so that you can rotate through and hit PRs on the periodization. And it's to look like they've done something fancy. That's all periodization is. And at the end of the day, what really matters is tension, progressive overload, plotted over time, along with recovery and fatigue management. That's really what matters. Right? All right. Hopefully we all get this. So I don't know why this is still a thing to where people need to ask every day. I get questions every day on it still. And it's like, I was kind of one of those to dismiss the whole thing. I mean, he's a businessman, guys. That's what he does. And this is all a business. It's particularly exercise science PhDs. Look at how much they conflict with each other. It's a small, tiny niche world of conflicting schools of thought. It's not even a particularly good science. So when people were kind of like, well, this low quality PhDs, when they see their doctoral work, do you really think great PhDs and brilliant men go into exercise science? Does this particular batch of individuals strike you as the most brilliant scientists? That people who truly are brilliant scientists really want to put their PhD into this area? Of course not. Of course not. It just doesn't draw that level of talent, and it doesn't have the funding to even do good studies anyways. It barely qualifies as a science. There's just not enough funding and interest in this whole field of study, particularly as it pertains to, say, hypertrophy or the bodybuilding. There's just not money. There's no financial interest in funding studies on it. There's just not. Right, EJ, real scientists don't take these guys seriously, So again, it is what it is. All right, what do we got going on, guys? You guys want to have some topics you want to kick off? My workout was good today. You guys see those squats? And that deadlift, I left a rep in the tank. I'm just like, dude, I hit 6 like Friday. I'm just going to stop. If you guys watched the short, I was like, yeah, that was easy as soon as I set it down. We're just kind of trudging along there. We're just kind of making progress, making gains. We're getting more vascular, right? We're getting veiny, getting stronger. Everything's flowing along nicely. So, coach should just be continue to recomposition from here. I should start getting leaner at this point too, I think, just what I'm doing with my diet. Clients are doing good. Man, I'm getting some good stuff. I'm getting some people who needed to drop who are hitting me back up. I'm not going to say who it is. One of my testimonial guys messaged me this morning. It was really good. He's like, I'm going through some stuff with acid reflux. And as soon as I get it under control, I'm wanting to come back on. It's like, well, come on with it, bro. Like one of the guys who looks really good in those testimonials. So well, he's coming back. I've got 2 clients scheduled to return next month. So one of my clients' girlfriend is going to come on next month. So hopefully she's still down to do this. She already submitted a 2-page application. So yeah, I mean, stuff's just in a good flow. Hey, Anesh, I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you for that super chat. Is that in pounds? I think that's or euros. I mean, sorry, that looks like euros. Cool, man. Appreciate it, bro. Thank you so much. Yeah, it looks like euros. So, hey, Anesh, you dropped a super. Do you have any questions? Yeah, dude, stuff is flowing. I just closed a package for the end of the month. One of my 6-month guys. I'm starting to give those guys a deeper discount, like another $50 off, because when I have dudes who are re-up, like straight up, dude, if someone's buying a 6-month package from me and they're buying their 3rd or 4th package. Any of you who own a business, you understand. I think euros and pounds are about the same. Any of you who run a business understand. It's kind of like, dude, it's like save a few more dollars off that. And it's mainly just for that loyalty, Clients who stay on for years at a time and buy 6 months ahead of time for a small discount. Dude, that's like that level of loyalty for me as a coach, So like 3 of those guys this time on their package, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna shave another $50 off your 6-month package. Mainly because repeat customers, they're easy to work with. But that's the thing to find. They're worth their weight in gold. Do you know why? They're easy to coach. When you've coached somebody for a year or longer straight with no breaks, you know how they respond. You know how to coach them. You have them in a flow state. Like they're not only the easiest clients, it's that consistent money. There's no resell. They're the easiest clients to coach because you already know how to coach that person. Like I put Taha's stuff up. He does packages. He's on like his 5th package or something at this point. The guy who was doing like that 430 for 5 deadlift, he's in his 40s, dude. He's like, he owns a business and has like 3 kids and stuff, right? Like he's a super busy guy, but he's just like, we got him doing like 5 rep sets of 430. He's squatting 405, cranks out pull-ups all day. And he's just, a businessman, who likes to play some sports on the side. And so he wants to stay fast and strong with those sports. But it's like, I keep him in flow, we keep him in flow all the time because I know how to coach him. Like he never gets hurt. He never gets, everything flows. Is it easier to coach those who've been coached before or those who have never been coached? EJ, no, I wouldn't say that there's a pattern there. I mean, people who are coachable. I mean, guys, like it is fair. Someone played, say, high school sports and they're used to being coached. That can be easier. But just having been coached before is not by default. So guys like Ted, right? Ted's like, he's like, I've been coached in multiple sports. He's like, so he's very coachable because he's had coaches in like 3 other sports growing up. So, and we're always looking for new stuff to compete in, right? So we're literally looking at in the next year or 2, 3 different types of competition. Like we're looking at powerlifting meets, strongman, and then something else that I'm not going to say. We're going to keep stuff a surprise. But he's competed in numerous sports. We just did his first strongman recently. But those guys are super coachable. If they played high school sports, dude, you're coachable, right? He's done a bunch of track and field stuff. He's done 5Ks. He's done other stuff. But I mean, as of now, we just did strongman. We're getting ready for powerlifting meets, and we're actually looking at possibly more strongman events. So this coming year, we're going to be doing strongman and powerlifting. But he also does boxing and BJJ. All right. But he was a field athlete. He did track and field all through high school and stuff. And he's been playing sports and competing in sports since he was like 12 years old. And that matters when people are kind of like, is he on juice? Like he's looking juicy, but it's like he doesn't have the grainy, hard look like people are expecting. But that's the difference when we talk about epigenetics, right? People who've been working out and training and playing sports since they were 12 years old, they have an advantage over you. Sorry, guys, if you started at 25, you're late to the game. Guys who started doing this stuff at 12 years old or started lifting at 15, started playing sports at 10 or 12, they're going to crush you in the weight room. They're going to crush you with the physiques. They're going to crush you with their goals. They have such a head start on you. No, he doesn't actually want to do bodybuilding. He has no interest in it. Connor says, my coach just gives me simple yet utterly brutal routines, hitting each muscle group multiple times a week. No effing around, clean diet, and a single ingredient food. Dude, it works. A lot of my guys are like that. Like you seen Ryan come through here, right? Ryan's like, dude, I'm getting so that came up. He did some back and forth with people here in one of the streams that might have been yesterday or the day before. People are like, well, why did you hire me? He's like, because I was losing weight and getting weaker. He goes, I hired Jason and I started getting stronger while still losing weight. So, for example, since I've had him, he's almost down 100 pounds total. He's lost about 20 pounds, 15 to 20 pounds since he's hired me. But we put 30 pounds on his bench press. We put 25, 30 pounds on his deadlift. Okay. His weighted dips and weighted chin-ups are going up. His front squat is going up. All his lifts are going up now while continuing to lose weight. He's been in a calorie deficit for like a year and a half. Again, the guy's lost something like 95 pounds. Right? No one can predict what AI will change. AI may cause the extinction of the human race. You guys need to quit playing footsies with it. What would John Connor say? Right? But that's the point. So people ask him, what's the training like? He's like, we just do training maxes and then hypertrophy work. He has an hour 3 days a week in the morning before work. We get an hour. I prescribe training maxes on the squat, bench, and deadlift, and then he does weighted body weight movements and stuff afterwards. Right? So it's like weighted dips, weighted chins, front squats, reverse hypers after a heavy single. And I prescribe the singles every week. Right? I want to see Ted. I'll say Ted's not interested in doing bodybuilding. But you can't ask me how AI will change fitness. Nobody has any sort of accurate predictions of how AI is going to change different industries. Like, that's just not a reasonable question. You should probably ask someone with a PhD in computer programming who works with AI. Right? Let's see, I can determine that, right? I mean, as it stands, AI, I've seen people give me AI arguments, copy paste, and they're wrong. They're just straight wrong. Right. All right. Lars says, Coach, I'm doing full body three times weekly for a period. It's nice, but I cannot recover. Should I lower volume/intensity, add one more rest day of the week? I'd lower volume. Or you need to cut some lifts out. Hey, Lars, all joking aside, you could hit me up for a full consultation, and I will actually be happy to go over it with you. Lars, in spite of the fact of whatever accusations of trolling, I will make you a deal. Because you were such a regular in my streams, I will do a consultation at half price for you to discuss your specific workout. I'll do it at half normal rate. I occasionally throw offers. No, that doesn't apply to the other people in here. I'm offering it because he's such a consistent poster in my live streams. I do plenty of them at full price. But Lars, so just an FYI, purely to discuss your programming, because you asked it in here, I will do one at half price for you. So it's not 100, it would do it for 50. Again, purely out of the sheer loyalty in these live streams. Hey, Jason, I want to let you know your training vlogs are a priceless resource of documented advanced training, and look forward to them. Hey, man, I'm glad they're helpful to you, Freaky. Hey, Jason, can I get half off? No, Sephiroth, sorry. Can't do that. Lars puts a lot in here. I know, but Lars has been in, I'm not exaggerating. I would be willing to bet Lars has been in 500 streams, if not more. Does that make sense? He's a pretty regular, consistent. Plus, I already know he's a real person because he's messaged me before on his real ID, like through a real Facebook. So he's a real person. His name really is Lars, you know. So I'm willing to give him a deal for that. Plus, it would be interesting to have someone who's in the post all the time actually do a conversation, a real conversation with me, and a consultation to see what they're actually like. And he could report back, because my personality is apparently very different in one-on-one conversations with people than I come across online. Yeah. Some of the people who come through say that. A bunch of the people who come through have done consultations. Like, dude, he is not what I expected. Yeah. Likes up. Appreciate it. Like, get them likes up, guys. I'll seriously consider it. Thanks. Okay. So, yep. All right. Talent laden. Hey, Sephiroth, could you just not? Could you just totally delete that yourself? Thank you. Could we not, I ask you guys, could we not bring that up ever again? It's a one-time deal. Okay, I specifically asked that in the video. My expectancy large mentioned 3 plays by the end of next year. Yeah, we don't need to hear about all that stuff. EJ will never happen, sadly. Lars is an older guy, and he's not at a really high body weight, guys. Three plates is, once you're reaching certain ages and other things going on, is harder than guys realize. Just an FYI. No, I didn't say any such thing, Sephiroth. I have no idea where you got that part. So, next. It could be maybe a couple years. Anything is possible with coach. I mean, guys, some of my clients think I'm a miracle worker, but I'm really not. Like Justin thinks I'm a miracle worker. Like, it's hilarious. But, because I put 100 pounds on his squat without him gaining much body weight. He only gained like 5 pounds in 3 years, and we put 100 pounds on his squat. He was stuck at like 400 forever. Are unilateral DOMs a problem if your form is good? No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, DOMs itself isn't necessarily a problem in general either. Right? Jason, are you authority on bringing a late novices to advanced? Have I done it? Yes. I suppose I'm an authority on it, but that's a reasonably lengthy process. That's a several-year process. So no more 5K 3 times a week. Not at the moment, no. Eventually, when I want to start actually PRing on 5Ks, we'll have to start running 5Ks again, won't we? Which will happen eventually. I eventually will run some 5Ks. I don't like the name of your channel, by the way. Lifting is not hard. Like, lifting is hard. Your mom is hard. All right. I really appreciate you, Jason. I think some of the trolling is pretty funny, but it doesn't really support any suit. Okay, no. All good. Well, for most people, man, lifting is just not that hard, guys. It's hard because people convince themselves that it's hard. Did you not watch today when I got to the deadlift? I did that 500-pound work set, tied the highest reps I've hit pretty much this year. Set it down. I'm like, that was pretty easy as I'm walking to the camera. Like, you guys can hear me saying it. It's just lifting weights, man. It's just lifting weights. I don't know that I'm going to have the best flashlight advice. I'm not up to speed on the current stuff out there. I haven't bought any new lights in years. It isn't when you get started, man, but not for elites who've been in the game for 2 decades. It gets easy, man. The longer you do, it gets easier. Raymond. Now, there we go. Look at what Raymond wrote. That's what I'm talking about. So I want to highlight Raymond's comment there. Hey, Connor, glad you upgraded to Orc Warrior. Thank you so much for the support. Raymond said, lifting is hard. Train long enough and rest days become hard. Bro, I felt that. I mean, he put a laugh tag, but he put a laugh emoji behind it, but seriously. Real recognize real, dude. Any benefits to Kelso shrugs? Yeah, they're actually a pretty good exercise, right? Kelso shrugs, benefits, I don't know that we want to say benefits versus other things per se, but are they a really good trap exercise? Yeah. Kelso shrugs are actually great. I really like the Harbor Freight Braun brand. I'm not that familiar with it. All right. I like to do walk. All right. Lifting is easy, but once you are pretty strong, like you said, can get a little anxious, but not hard, right? If you aren't nervous where you lift and you aren't, I'm going to disagree with that, man. You got to walk into it cool as a cucumber. That's a good question. I know they make good drills and things. I have a pen flashlight with a USB, so I recharge with $20 for super bright. Okay, cool. Fitness is a legitimate addiction. You can definitely suffer from under recovery. Absolutely. Yeah, being nervous for a lift, man, that's something I had to get. That's what held Justin back, was being nervous under a heavy squat. It was holding him back. I built him up to where now when he walks under a 450 to 500 pound squat, he owns that squat. He walks in calm, collect, and just executes. Defiant, I agree. If you're not approaching a challenging set with extreme confidence, you're doing yourself a disservice. Again, case in point, you saw the deadlift today. I walked over there confident to that bar, pulled 6 reps, set it down, said, I could have got a 7th. I didn't feel like trying to risk it today. Not even going to risk pulling something. I set down that 6 rep, walked to the camera. That was pretty easy. Calm. Recommendations for vehicle. I don't have a recommendation for that. Yeah. I don't know how to be cool. You got to learn to just be cool, man. Right? Be cool, bitch. Be cool. Tell that bitch be cool. Sorry, we're not supposed to cuss in here. As Samuel L. Jackson said in the cafe scene, right? You got to be cool, man. What's Fonzie? Lifting hard, what's Fonzie? Fonzie's cool. That's right, be cool. People get upset because you were doing your red belt toss in your front yard. Right? People literally do, they getting upset. Hey, he's out there in his front yard. Spare tire and a jack, maybe you can fix. I think you need a Daniel defense and some level 4 plates in your roadside emergency kit. Sometimes a restraint can be a good thing. Even Ronnie did 2 reps with 800-pound squats instead of 5. Yes, his mentality was that elite. It was his biggest regret, right? Right. Yeah. You got to learn to just approach it calm, collect, know your limits. But you got to be confident. But the confidence, that's what that gives you too. So I walked into that deadlift. That's a perfect example. I knew I could have ground out a 7th rep. Anyone who watches this bar speed on the 6th, I held it at the top. I had a 7th rep. Would have been the best set of the year, actually. That would have been a PR for this year. Since I've been doing stuff again this year, that would have been my best set. But, right, I had restraint. I said, it's not worth it. Just be calm. Be confident, and that was a high-quality set, and I was happy with it. Best body armor for home defense. I don't know that there is a best. There's a lot of really good ones. You need to look at their testing. A lot of people don't like my brand. I have AR 500, and I know it's not considered an amazing brand, but it's okay. Good brand for a first AR. Colt. Colt, yeah, if you can get a Colt. Any mil spec. No, I think a Colt is a really good choice. We live, baby. Hey, coach, what's up, man? Hold moves. Where can I find program material for med balls? I don't know where you can find program material for med balls. I have AR 500 is the plates I have. It's a fairly budget brand, dude. It's not crazy expensive. I bet my plates were $200, $250 at most. Right. But, it's rated to stop 7.62 NATO. So that batch, they did a test with one of the plates for my batch, and they give you a copy of it, and it stopped 8 rounds of ball ammo. from 762 NATO with no penetration. So it's in the certification for that batch. You know, there's always a lot of debate with anti-spall coatings, though. I'm not a big fan. Like I'm not convinced at all that you're not going to get sliced up from spall a little bit, no matter what. You know, if you're neglecting rifle cartridges or rifle round, not cartridges, you know, and they're fragmenting, you're going to get cut up a little bit. I don't care what magical coating they think they put on there. I've been using rope floats for shoulder mobility. I'm interested in med ball content of the same variety. I mean, I don't know if there's content. You could just get some and do it. Appreciate it, Peppermint. Drop them likes, man. Yeah, we are live, bro. We are live. Already getting super, so we're off to a good start today. All right, we're off to a good start and had a good workout. G19 or 17 for first EDC. I'm going to go with 19. It's more convenient for carry. It's just more versatile. You're more likely to be able to conceal it comfortably. Nothing wrong with a 17. I've carried a 17. 19 is slightly smaller. It's a compact. Not a subcompact. It's just a regular compact. A lot of people carry it as a duty weapon. Even the feds issue it as a duty weapon. Sent one Jason Block Strength gift membership. Oh, you gave Luke a free membership. Cool. Jason, did you see the No Kings protest had to be changed to No Tyrants in Canada because they have a... Oh, Lord. That's funny. Oh, man. Connor promoted Luke. Is Luke even in here today? I didn't know you could do that you could gift memberships. Yeah, that's cool. Is it just me or is it harder to squat and deadlift with a thicker bar that has less bend? It's definitely harder to deadlift. The squatting, it shouldn't be. Oh, interesting. I know you were pioneering some new shoulder mobility, so I don't know that I'm pioneering anything. No, I'm just finding it's useful. Like the med ball throws feel really good on my shoulders. A duty weapon. A duty weapon would be what police officers carry on their open side. Like their open sidearm is called a duty weapon. Right? Luke's been upgraded. I saw that. Is it hard to build a switch for a gun? I don't know. What's this? That's a California thing, right? If I'm seeing that come through the news, I need to look into that. Memberships usually get gifted to random people. What? I didn't know that. How does that work? Did that one get gifted to a random or did you pick him? Oh, it's just random. But Luke is a regular. Like Luke's a big regular poster, especially in the mornings. You know, gives all the medical knowledge. Yeah, he's a good poster. Yeah, well deserved. Hey, Coach, I came home from a gym session. I felt good, but I felt weak. Well, keep going till you're not weak. Limitless, keep going till you're not weak. I give Limitless some tough love. He needs it. You felt weak. Go back. Keep going back till you are no longer weak. This is the way. All right. I docked my cat down. It's semi-random, but I'm pretty sure it takes into account how much they chat and how much long. Yeah, it probably gives it to people who've had the community rounds and stuff. Yeah, I have Cash App. Yeah, I link it. Do you probably linked it all my links for that link tree stuff? I don't know if it'll let me. Does it let you link Cash Apps in here? Yeah, no, I have Cash App. There's probably a link to it on my Instagram too. Let me check. I think my Instagram has all of it. Because I have clients who pay and I have fans who send gifts in Cash App. I need to put it in my link tree. Yeah, I'll add it to my link tree later. I didn't think about that. I think I can add it there. Yeah, I don't see. Hey, Sephiroth, did you not understand these conversations we've had? All right, I don't see. I change more order of exercises. Do PR still count? That's a nuanced question. I'll give them ideas. Yeah, that's really weird. Ted has a really cool. Yeah, Ted's got access to some good gyms where he's at. There's several good gyms he has access to. I don't know. I haven't tested my resting heart rate. I do have an Apple Watch in my list, though. If someone wants to buy one, I could track all that. I have one of the little Apple Watches in there. Someone suggested it, and so I threw one in there. I'm like, well, if you think I need one, I'm gonna put it in the wish list. You never know. 60 is kind of like an ideal resting heart rate, right? That's a good goal to shoot for. I mean, I could sit there and time it by hand, right? But you guys see my running and other stuff. We know I'm in shape. All right. When I was going through my Adderall phase, my resting heart rate was 110. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. What's your number one choice on your wish list? I don't know. I don't have a number one choice. I mean, obviously, I've got stuff in there like Vibrams and other things, but I actually just appreciate it when people buy me protein or coffee. Like, those are pretty cool. People have bought all those things. So I've had someone who bought fish oil. I used to have a bunch of joke stuff because I thought, well, maybe some really wealthy fan might buy some. I took all the joke stuff out. No one's going to buy me $1,000 guitars. So I took something like that out. Potentially, in some cases, fish oil can as well. There's definitely some nuance to that. Yeah, I need to cover that in a little bit of detail, but that's not anything new. We've been discussing that for 20 years. Be picky with your brands, guys. But man, they were hard on the vegan ones. All these vegans who've been trying to slam down both the whole and that naked protein powder. Hit a tree that Clen can kill, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people use Clen who wouldn't even use steroids. I've known a lot of girls who use Clen. Does zinc improve confidence? No. There's no reason to think it would. Yeah, Clen is potentially very risky. So let me see if I can do my cash out. How do I do my cash out in there? That's a good question, Leighton. I should be able to add it. If you message me, though, on any of my social media, I can send you the link to it. I have it saved in my phone. If you're interested in doing anything there. Because I have people who send stuff with that, too, just small gifts. I'm seeing that's a fat burning drug. Who's your favorite female bodybuilder? Vladisava Gawan. Right. Clen is an outdated asthma medication that can increase resting metabolic rate by about 250 calories a day. Yep. Clenbuterol is similar to albuterol, or you could do 20 minutes of cardio instead. Yeah. Has some potential for minor anabolic action, although it's been demonstrated more in horses. It's not fully been demonstrated in humans. They also use it for certain types of cardiac patients at very high doses, which sounds strange. Right? Given the risk for heart attack, there are cardiac patients who it's given to, and there's studies on it. It's quite fascinating that it stabilizes certain types of heart problems. And certain types of heart attacks afterwards. Right? Rather fascinating, because it's given people have had heart attacks from it, but in very high doses, it is used as a heart attack treatment for like one specific type, supposedly. So how fascinating is that fact? Quite strange in the grand scheme of things, because it gives people have had heart attacks from it, from athletes and bodybuilders. So again, but apparently it's therapeutic for one specific type in very high doses. But I mean, they're giving them, like, I saw studies where it was like over 400 micrograms a day. I don't know anything about drone laws. I know nothing about drone laws. This is so far out of my wheelhouse. I have no clue. Yeah, we don't know anything about it, unfortunately. Don't really care either, because I have no interest in them. You know, no interest in them at all. Yep. All right. Can upper lower 4-day a week split be double progression suffice for an early intermediate program? Yes. Hey Zico, how about I don't even answer a question like that? It's quite common for people who don't compete in bodybuilding. I've known it's very common in women. I've known multiple women who are not super serious about fitness, who go to the gym a little, who use Clen. Right? It's a very much a normie drug for weight loss. Yeah, it can give you a heart attack. But I mean, for people who are willing to use various recreational drugs, it's just not a big deal. Like, I've known girls who party a little bit here and there, they smoke weed, who they'll take Clen, like, oh wow, I can lose 10 pounds. And they go to the gym a couple days a week, you know. Like, I've known these types. What do you think of the idea of microdosing GLPs? I don't know much about the dosing, Defiant. I don't know anything about the dosing of GLPs. I have no experience with them at all. So I'm not able to give advice on this topic, because I don't know enough about them to give you an answer. Is that fair? Don't you wish more people gave answers like that? So if you need to ask how often to add reps on double progression, you're not ready for double progression. You don't know what it is. Adderall seems to be used commonly in the fitness world for appetite control. So you need to go research what double progression is. How often do you add reps? Every time you can, literally. No, Severov. On double progression, when do you add reps? Literally, when you can. If you can add the rep right now, you add it right now. That's it. That's how you determine. Literally, whenever you possibly can add the reps. And when you reach your target reps, you add the weight the next session. Right? So you're not programming saying, hey, I'm going to try to add 1 rep. No, you just get the reps. If let's say you're doing double progression 5 to 8, and you picked a weight that you thought you could only get 5 reps with, and you hit 8, and you can get 8, then you do all 8. A new routine is upper, lower, rest. That works. Simple and effective. Simple and effective. Yeah, I realize I don't have my Cash App listed, so that's cool. I'll see if I can add it, Leighton. If not, Leighton, you can message me on any of my social media. I can send you the QR code. So try to go to failure. No, you can stop a rep in reserve, Ramiro. You don't have to go to failure on especially your big barbell lifts, but you can stop 1 rep away. Coach, I think you need to trademark the dad bod to daddy system and the dad bod to strength. You can't. Trademark laws and copyright laws do not allow exercise programs to be added in the United States. Is 5 to 8 the most common rep range? Not necessarily. It's a fairly common one. My knee-jerk thought is 5 to 10. Also, once you reach upper end of the rep range, how much weight do you want to add? Probably be a percentage of it. How about you add 2% instead of 2 kilograms? So would you add the same weight to a barbell curl that you would a deadlift? What? Who are you talking about, Peppermint? No such person. Next. Right. Exactly. Yo mama. Bye, Felicia. Favorite protein powder flavor, cookies and cream. All right, but it's a wide variety are good though. There's a lot of different good ones, but cookies and cream comes to mind immediately. That's what I had today. Do you ever try MyReps? Nope, not interested in MyReps. Do you remember P90X? Yes, I know someone who still has all their P90X videos. One of my friend's wife, she does the whole Beachbody and P90X. She's been doing it like 15 years. She still does it in her living room. Can double progression be used even deep into the advanced stage of being a lifter? Yes. Yes, it can. But your double progression might be a multi-year increase, meaning you might be so strong that your 5 to 10 could be a 3-year goal. Even before lifting in 2014, I did those in insanity classes. Man, Connor, you guys are making me feel old. Before I began lifting in 2014, you see my face, I'm like, Severoff, what's your, I don't know what that is. A what? A what? What exactly is that? Well, we call that a man in a wig. Is that from a car? I think that's a car part. So could you explain to me what that is, Severoff? I'm confused as to exactly what that means. I get confused as to what exactly they mean by that because the whole thing is confusing. I'm actually serious. I don't remember which one they're calling that is the man or the woman. And I'm actually serious. I actually get it confused. So is that someone who has a penor still or not? I find it very confusing. Never mind, it probably isn't appropriate exactly. It definitely isn't appropriate. Why are you worried about stuff like that? So it's very straightforward. I mean, if you're interested in someone who has a penor, even if they're in a wig, then you're gay. I mean, that's how it works. Then you guys are going to put, what about Blair White? Well, because Blair White appears to be a woman, but that doesn't mean I'd hit it. Doesn't mean would actually do anything there just because they look like an attractive woman. It's a trap. I'm strictly taco, no burrito. Yeah. Yeah, so take that garbage out of here. I always wonder why no one came out with a TV exercise program that involves squats and bench presses in the real rounded powerlifting type program instead of some of the very small, right? You gotta wonder music because it wouldn't sell. That is an offensive. I mean, it is kind of, yeah. In person, they probably look different. That could be that. And they're probably going to smell different and everything too. Right. They're not going to smell like a lady. Coach, I can't afford cantaloupe or orange is a good secondary option. I mean, they're a pretty good choice. Cantaloupe just has a particularly high satiety index is the kind of the point. And they've had the maggots and everything put in there. Several. You talking about after they have the maggot treatment? Where they put maggots in there to eat all the necrotic tissue. I don't know, man. Is that what you're into? It sounds like you into some weird stuff, dude. It's kind of gross, man. Hey, but to each their own, man. Hey, you know what? I'm not judging. I'm not a judgmental person. But I think you kind of pushing the lines here, Several. You need to stop with this. Exactly. You're making people sick. You make Connor vomit all over his keyboard. Connor, you okay, man? You gonna be all right, bro? You didn't lose any protein, did you? Several, you owe Connor a protein shake. If he puked his protein shake up, you owe that man a protein shake. Just saying. You might owe me a super chat to replace. I'm just saying, dude. You can't. This is a Christian channel, right? That's all I'm saying. We're not having this nonsense. Yeah, no. Gotta have some more protein. Wait, Connor wasted a protein shake, Several. I hope you're happy. You did that. You got to chill with some of this stuff, bro. I'm trying to be nice, but man, you crossed the line. I know you donate, but there's going to be people calling for a vote on you real quick. And this is a democracy at the end of the day. No kings, man. All right, no kings. I am the law, but I'm bound by the laws of democracy. Only when I have to overrule through executive action on occasion. In limited circumstances, I'm granted emergency powers. But when the crisis is averted, I set down those powers. With a hint of, no, we've got a hint of, no, man, occasionally we love democracy. That's right. There's no dictate. Sometimes we have emergency powers that have to be enacted in an emergency, situation. Depends if you're looking to minimize penetration, anything with a polymer tip. Amax and Vmax are really good, but quite frankly, 55 grain ball stuff like FMJ, full surplus, actually works well. What you don't want is like SS109. Any of your green tip, I would not use. Right? In other words, house to house, you don't want a steel penetrator. It's a weight. It's an antiquated system of weight. You can go look up how many grams to grains the ratio is, but everything is still done in an antiquated system. Wait till you get to shotguns and you find out this powder is weighed in drams. Thank you, Brits. The Brits did this to us. That's you, Peppermint. Y'all did this. But it's still used to this day. We did this, yeah. All of our cartridge data, it all comes from an antiquated British measurement system. Grains and drams, right? So more grains just equals more grams. Yes, it's just a weight. It is actually a measurement of weight. Right. Yeah. So it's just a weight, dude. I can get you a ratio if you're curious. Grains to grams conversion. All right, you ready? 1 grain equals 0.06479 grams. So a 55 grain is 3.56 grams. For what? Are you talking in a 223 cartridge or projectile? I mean, they can get pretty exotically high. Your AR you're buying at the store is not going to fire them though. So, or do you not understand things like twist rates and grains versus stabilization? Okay. So you do realize you're only going to have a range of weights that you can stabilize with any given barrel. Right. Yeah. Now, a lot of people argue the 1 in 7 is too fast to stabilize a 55 grain, but I've taken to the range and I've punched sub-MOA groups with 55 grain and shown guys that that's not true. All right, I've had it up here with his questions. He said, Kapow, Sephiroth. I have nunchucks for self-defense, and they're probably still not legal here in the UK, right? Probably can't use them. Dad and the boys is awake, home defense. Get you a good sledgehammer. Get you a good sledgehammer. 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 Dad's word is respect. He's such a troll, but at least he's a funny troll. He's not a malicious troll. That's the difference. Okay, take notes, guys. Right? Take notes, guys. Dad and the boys is very clearly a troll. He trolls every day, but he's not a malicious troll. People need to understand there are different types of trolling. There are funny trolling. There's one that's like, you know what I mean? He's at least entertaining. He brings entertainment value. High quality trolling brings entertainment. Right? Well, and that other little minor snafu, right? Like, not all trolling is a bad thing. And keep in mind, stalking and trolling are not the same thing. Those are vastly different categories. They're not the same. So, Yeah, several I'm not voting for anybody can feel some regulars. They're getting pretty close. The difference between fun trolling and those who want to ruin life. Yeah, dude. So why did you need to say his name, man? You know, I ban crazy people. There's a big difference. Like, I don't mind some trolling, dude. I troll. Bro, I troll the hell out of vegans and carnivores and everybody on Facebook every day. Every day. We go balls deep. I mean, look at this post I just made, putting this stuff. A screenshot of one of the conversations. I just put it up. I'm just talking to the vegans. And I wrote above it, note, I want to see real mourning and grief from vegans over crop deaths. Well, yes, a few million mice and rabbits died to get my crops over the decades, but it's less than meat eaters. And brushing it off shows you don't actually care about those animals. I want to see actual tears when you eat a carrot or watermelon for the mice lost while harvesting. Otherwise, you're just virtue signaling. Okay, get those reels up. I want to see big crocodile tears over those bunnies and mices. Hashtag Facebook lifestyle, right? You got to learn how to troll people. People don't realize I've been trolling for decades. I am an OG troll all the way back to the IRC days, right? I troll about bicep gains, man. My whole Mount Bicephius was a troll. It was making fun of the fact that my bicep insertions suck. I'm actually flexing the torn bicep. When I do the Mount Bicephius, guys, that's the one that the doctor took a chunk out of, the size of my thumb. So when I do the Mount Bicephius, I was literally making fun of myself. If people didn't realize, like, this guy thinks he's got great biceps, I was trolling myself for 5 years. I'm literally flexing the bicep that I tore and that got infected. The doctor cut a chunk out of. Here we go. Mount Bicephius. Oh, I'm trolling people. Like, people forget. So even when we got to the fake Merc stuff, the people not realize I was a hardcore troll all the time. I mean, the bag puss stuff. Guys, the bag puss stuff. Do you guys remember how I introduced bag puss to the channel? Ian McCarthy got mad and popped off at me at the time, right? And I told Ian that he was acting like a child. And so I went and got bag puss out and I stuck the pink cat up there. And I stuck him up there and I said, well, Ian, I understand that you're not a fully grown man. And so instead of you can't talk to me about your feelings, I brought Bag Puss here so that you can talk to Bag Puss about your feelings. And you can tell Bag Puss how you feel about the situation. He's here to listen. So I put this pink stuffed cat named Bag Puss in front of the camera. Well, he became a regular in my channel later. He attacked me. Quite often I had Bag Puss attack me. And then he developed a black voice. I talked with him. So the thing is, that was how I introduced Bag Puss. I introduced him to troll Ian McCarthy and call Ian McCarthy a child. And then you guys remember the whole me wearing a Spartan costume while yelling to Lane's lawyers and then talking to Britney Spears, telling her to call me while I'm wearing the Spartan costume in the middle of a lawsuit. I don't think people understand that Ian McStruthers. People do not understand how hardcore of a troll I am. Yeah, these viewers come through, it's too slow to realize that the Spartan costume. I mean, I even got up there. I'm like, we're going to war. I can't stop. I won't stop. I don't even know how to stop. Can I get an amen from the congregation? Say, can I get an amen from the congregation? Thank you, Jesus. All right. I'm schooled in meme cultures. Amen. There we go. Hallelujah. Catch the ghost. All right. So we had the whole, like, I trolled like crazy. Then we had the whole Bag Puss. Yeah, we had the whole him attacking me a few times. And you give that message to Jeff's side. I used to quote Alex Jones. The whole fake Merc thing was all out of Alex Jones thing. It was Alex Jones and Tom Clancy. The whole thing. They turned my Alex Jones, Tom Clancy, make fun of Hillary Clinton into somehow stolen valor. Then all these people Alex Jones has only to be accused of stolen valor. All these people we've had who claimed they were hitmen for the Illuminati should have been accused of it. They should have run him into the ground. Just saying, guys. You even terrified Michael Tran. But we had a lot of fun. So someone asked for bag puss. Somebody dropped me a super. The Powder Wars was peak trolling. I know. That's what I mean. That was such a I was drunk. I was drunk when I did it, but it was trolling. The whole Powder Wars thing, I was trolling. A few glasses of wine in me, man, and I was talking that talk. Yep. So I banned people to make people shut up about the whole thing. That's the advice I was given. I was taking advice from law enforcement. They're like, don't talk about it, just ban people. That's what the police told me to do. The feds told me to do. Yeah. Like, don't engage trolls, just ban all of it. It'll go away. It'll blow over. You saw how that worked out. Hey, Sephiroth, can we stop with that? I've actually had psychologists ask that, and they don't think there's any chance at all. So that's just insane. All right. Lifting. Okay, I'm about to get rid of you. I didn't keep up the troll. I deleted all of it. Were you not present during any of that? Did you miss the whole thing? You're aware that I deleted all of it. It was all gone by what year? I went and I deleted it. Yeah, that's at this point, yeah, Connor saying Sephiroth Kapal. Because my personality doesn't come across at all on the spectrum. I know people on the spectrum. There are people in my circle who are diagnosed on the spectrum. Yeah. You went live, insane. Yep. So there's two people calling for Kapal. One of them is a paying channel member, Sephiroth. Connor says he's very mildly on the spectrum, but you see the point. Like, there's nothing about my personality that would suggest it. Ted's calling for a Kapow. Ted to client. Man, guys, Sephiroth, you're not doing well with the people here. But Peppermint did warn you. But yeah, Lifton, you're definitely stay from me. So where are we at then? I better count these. I'll ask you a question. No, but they've already put the vote. You asked them what the fake Merc thing? It was all deleted within a few months. It was deleted over a decade ago. Over 10 years ago. So you've been spared for now. It looks like a pretty even vote. Sephiroth, can we chill with some of this nonsense though? For Shiggle. Right? Now, someone wanted to see bag post, but that's a final warning. So Peppermint gives a final warning. So super chat, I'll go dig bag post out. I think that's fair. People want to see bag post. I have the original bag post still. Yeah. Actually, I hadn't sobered up for a couple more years after that. I had my last drink February the 18th of this year was my 6-year anniversary. So this coming February will be 7 years completely sober. I was definitely inebriated while making those videos, though, to be fair. Now, I'm not saying that's an excuse. Connor, appreciate it. Let me go dig out bag puss. All right, super chat to see bag push. Let me go break him out. Break him out of prison. That's like a jailbreak. All right. Yes, this is the original. The original. I got this is actually the original one, yes, that I was using all the way back in 2012. So he's 13 years of YouTube history right here, baby. So we got the OG. What's up, y'all? I've been had him since 2012. When he get out, I thought he wasn't locked up. He just got out. He's on parole right now, though. He is on parole, so he's got to behave. You can't be assaulting anybody. You can't be popping any. I can't let him have any guns. The terms of his parole say that he cannot have physical access to any of my firearms. No, he was locked up for a felony, man. I'm not going to go. We don't need to talk about all that. Right. No, I don't know who Keep the Snake is. No, he's out, man. They let him out on good behavior. When you use this anime profile pic guy, is nothing but trouble. What? Yeah, the Sephiroth guy? Could be Ted. I'm telling you, man. We already know. And Ted's already voted to kapow you, dude. That's not good. I mean, keep in mind, Ted's actually a client, one of my bloggers. Oh, man. Client Ted Lasso, suitor for kapows to say, yeah, but they just asked for bag puss. Bag puss. Like, calm down, man. I ain't trying to make eye contact like that, bro. Hold up. Sorry. He just got out, man. You can't be making that eye contact. He just got out, guys. All right, back to bro. What do you vote, man? I vote you busted cap in that bitch ass motherfucker. What? Bro, you can't be busting caps, man. You're out on probation. Parole, sorry. Sephiroth, you're in trouble now. Bro. Bagpuss can't vote. He's a felon. He's on parole, man. He's still an American citizen. Sephiroth, and then you just called me autistic. Yeah, but dude, I got Bagpuss is voting. Bro, that's the OG Sephiroth. You're in trouble now, man. Trill changed his vote to kapow. We're like at 7 votes. Sephiroth. Do you want, brother? Here comes, man. Sorry, it's a kapow. All these people voting, man. My hands are tied. My hands are tied, dude. It's the law. The law is the law. We're all bound by it. All right, bro. Gotta warm it up. Booyakasha! Sorry, Sephiroth. Man, the law is the law, bro. That's just the way it has to be. Vote Taragar. Zug Zug. All right. Shake and bake, baby. A little bit of shake. Bake. All right, we're going to put Bagpuss up. Bagpuss going to show back here. No Bagpuss, you can't be carrying that thing. We've already talked about that. Not on camera. All right. Bagpuss is the jury. The former convict, though, EJ, he's been out on good behavior, man. They said he was real good in there. You know. All right. I'm doing good, Blaze. How you doing, brother? It's all good. It's all good. But we got Swag Puss back there. He's holding it down. Now we don't need another low target our friends. Low target our friends. Right? He's watching my back. Right. All right, guys. This has been a pretty good live though. I might go ahead and wind it down. We got some decent supers. We got all sorts of memberships. Broke out Bag Puss back out. This is good times, man. This is good times for the channel. You guys saw the squats and deadlifts today. No, Lane's not going to apologize. I wouldn't count on that. But, you know what we're about to do? I'm going to wind this down. I'm going to give you guys a Mount Bicephalus though for old, right? For old time's sake, we're going to do a Mount Bicephalus though. Mount Bicephalus. We're out of here.